and I have to say that I'm really satisfied with the results of the 2 days workshop. And I found that it's extremely stimulating, impressive, well done. And if I want to find a common denominator in these two, uh, in the presentations of these 2 days, I can see it in a personal perspective. And personal perspective observes individuals, but it also attempts to trace their collective and other general social features. Historians turn to the personal was been only a part of change in research interest stimulated by other disciplines, which from the 70s on offered new ways of perceiving the past. It was conditioned with democratization of society, while we should also stress uh, to mention the cultural turn aroused by post-structuralists like Derrida, like Barthes, like Foucault, who emphasized the role of language and culture in constituting society. Especially Foucault doubted into the exclusory explanation power of economy structures and political systems. So, in shaping the modern society, so indirectly, such ideas gave space to manifold new perspectives in reconstructing history, including personal, which is also shaped by changeable features such as subjectivity, irrationality, and memory. Oral historians, active at the turn of the 80s, rode that wave as well. Luisa Passerini, Alessandro Portelli, Paul Thompson, and others formed a generation of critically charged oral historians, and they also elaborated new interpretive tools in observing personal narratives. Their initial approach was based on apologetic terms, stemming from the reluctance of academic circles to use oral sources in reconstruction of historical events. In the early 80s, Portelli wrote that the specter of oral history haunts the halls of academia. By that, he indicated its unreliability and suspicion in the imaginary of the majority of the institutionalized historians. However, suspicion and critics, many of them justified, gave impetus to consideration how to deal with personal narrative. An important approach is the one mentioned yesterday by Anna Di Lelio, that oral history started to give less attention to facts and more to the meanings people ascribed to facts. Maybe the interest of meaning over facts sounds a bit odd, but if we think carefully, we all act according to the meanings we ascribed to the facts. It is not about what really happened during certain event, but how the event is being perceived. And here we always get to diversifying interpretations. In these 2 days, we heard a lot about subjectivity, which may constitute a real challenge in those who see the past as structured, settled reality, but that means to neglect the ambivalences, contradictions in the society. Moreover, if we recall yesterday's presentation of Luisa, and if we recall Moitza's presentation, contradictions were mentioned not only in the society, but also within one person or within one narration. It may again sound confusing at first glance, but yesterday's presentation of Nina Muchnik and Robert Mastain showed that psychological facts are multi-layered and unpredictable. That may also mean that subjectivity is multi-layered, conditioned not only by our own rational side, but also by our desires, values, and imagination. Besides, one is always embedded in the system, in the society, in one's social network, in the community, family. So what are the most important emphases from the workshop? The first, memory. I think memory was addressed here a lot of times. I think it was one of the most used word that actually appeared in many different syntagmas, like from transmitted memory, divided memory. And today I also found another syntagma that Giovanni spoke about. It was fermented memory, which I found extremely interesting. And I got the idea that maybe Italian language is so close to these narrative forms of oral history that it's no wonder that so many Italians are very good oral historians. This is just an idea. Memory, of course, it's not only a historical or topic that is used in humanities and social sciences. It is also a biological fact, and by this we should in exploring the possibilities of memory, which would also influence our own understanding of the testimonies. Also, neuroscience and psychology, psychoanalysis should be brought to attention. So memory, of course, is also, I call it a core of oral history, because oral history actually collects memories, and oral history is intrinsically connected to memory studies. The other thing I would like to emphasize is the intersectionality that was yesterday very beautifully addressed by Luisa Passerini. The term is actually quite old. It was developed by Afro-American scholar, lawyer, and advocate of civil rights, Kimberly Crenshaw, in the mid-80s, who find out that gender should be observed also in intersection with other features, such as, I don't know, ethnicity, religion. We also heard that age yesterday was very much emphasized. I would also maybe add skills, social skills, also language skills, and health condition, because they also emphasize, they also affect how people are being perceived by others and how they perceive themselves. There is also the issue of periodization, which I would like to emphasize as the third point. When we hear life stories or when we listen live histories, periodization doesn't follow these usual patterns we have in mind, which are commonly connected to the political events. People do not live from 1918. They live. People do not remember only from these milestones which are imposed from political history, and which are very successfully shared in the society. And this awareness that people remember over their lifetimes, that some memories are also transmitted over generations, is something oral historians should be very much aware of. And it also brings attention to the meaning of family and social network who influence also the remembrance. I was also very much inspired by observation of other forms of communication, not only oral, but also corporal, and also by the meaning of silences. Yesterday and today we heard a lot about silences, and they are indeed a very interesting thing to be observed. Um, we heard yesterday Anna Di Lelio, for instance, emphasized that we have self-imposed silences, silences kind of self-censorship, I would say, that we have silences which are imposed by families, by communities in which we live, also by the system, by the religion, and so. And today we heard a lot about silences which are telling something, which are telling that, uh, which are kind of how to say, avoiding stories to be told on purpose. But like Alenka emphasized, other origins of this inducement. Um, I would also like sometimes in some occasions there was also another, or the last, I would say, the last of my emphasis goes to representability, which is kind of in oral history is not as important feature, because we cannot interview all the people who experience some event, or all the imagined communities that happen. But oral historians gave another way to put these testimonies in context, which is telling and which is maybe maybe useful. And this is also that practically all good oral histories are socially, culturally, and politically located, and therefore contextualized. And of course, there is not a place for generalizations, and also less place for stereotypes, who actually hide the multivocality that is a fact in the society, I would say. Um, so from this stems also a crucial epistemological finding, which has been addressed on multiple occasions, not today, but in the text before, but it is, in my opinion, still over or still needs to be stressed. And this is that narrator, oral testifier, witness, oral source, whatever we name it, should never take on the role of historical interpret. And this interpretational part of it goes to a self-reflexed and well-informed historian who observes, compares, contextualizes the narrative. And in this regard, historians should also involve findings from other fields of social sciences and humanities. We have to open up also to other perspective that goes away from the political and economical. By that, I do not mean that we neglect these facts, but to put focus more on other perspectives, such as everyday life, such as proverbs, folklore, dishes, as we heard, because this maybe give another angle to observe social layers which has been marginalized due to the prevalent political and economical observation point. And last but not least, I would like to stress a high explanatory value from the field of artistic production. Um, Because I think that art often speaks to us in a very lifelike way, and presents the complexity of human interactions, often gives us insights into personal experiences, mediates the irrationality of certain place and time, and thereby sets new research questions and interpretative possibilities. So this is where I would like to conclude. I hope I was not too boring. I hope I'm also open for discussion and maybe some corrections, because these remarks were made just like out of the blue, partly conditioned by the way how I see oral history, but also stimulated by the presenters and the interaction that followed each presentation. So thank you. This was everything from my side. Is there any question or comment? Or Erika, is this waving or or raising hand? Okay, thank you.
It was just a compliment, you know, to you.
Thank you. You look tired, dear folks. It's Friday. I'm aware. It's been 2 long days, although impressive and fascinating. And if you don't have, I give one. I will wait for 5 seconds. Maybe someone encourages to say something. Otherwise, okay, 5 seconds. Well, otherwise, I really thank you for your cooperation. I really thank you for all the self-initiatives you put in, because we all built this event, all who are present here. And of course, if there are any questions, I'm available to you over my email. And of course, Anya Medved, uh, you you said that you would send a link. You can send it over to me, and anyone who wants, I will redistribute. But this is just for personal use, I suppose. Have any
Yeah.
restrictions?
No, I don't know. I can send you a few films. I will be happy if you have time and watch. Um, I mean, for me, it was really also very inspirative this 2 days, and because I'm not an academic, I never studied history, and it's very important to be in touch also with. I mean, it was also good for me to articulate my thoughts, and I kind of got the taste to do it even more. So it would be great to stay in touch.
Thank you, Anya. Marta, you want to say something?
Yes, I want conclude. I want to thank all participants, all speakers, our support, technical supports, Polona Kapler and Neja Tardin. And I want to thank especially beautiful, perfect, excellent chair who guided us in this 2 morning. And I think that this workshop was very inspirative in many ways. I learned a lot, and I had a lot suggestions for our project, for our topics, and I hope that we remain in touch, to be in touch, and I wish you before a good lunch and after a nice afternoon and also a nice weekend. Thanks for these 2 perfect morning.
Thank you for your words. I just have one request for the participants. As the event has been recorded, I would like from you to give me the permission to publish the records. Of course, if you don't want to be online because you would like to put it on our website, namely many people wrote me that they would like to be on the event, but they have some coincident events or they just don't have time whatsoever. And I think it would be a great opportunity if these discussions and these thoughts would stay for those interested. So I would be very glad if you just write me an email that you allow the publishing. I think this would be enough. That's how we were talking with Polona. I think it will be enough. So thank you so much. I wish you all a very pleasant weekend. We have kind of a rainy day now.
Yeah.
And I hope the situation betters during the weekend so that we go out a bit and get some vitamin D, which is important in order to stay healthy. So this is everything from my side. It was great to be with you. Thank you. Marta, you want to say something else?
No.
Okay.
Before.
Okay, so thank you. Stay in touch.
Thanks.
Bye.
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 Thanks.